Hi everyone and welcome to today's card for Craftie Cafe. To start off with the supplies I used to make the card, I've got MFT Blueprints 31, Wplus9 Smart Kitty and Lawn Fawn watercolour paper pack, and also some Distress Oxide and inks as well as normal Distress inks. Now just giving a quick flick through and deciding what colour I'm going to use today. Today I'm going to be using some blues and aquatones for today's card. Now I ended up choosing the darker version of the blue than the lighter, and it looks like more the moonstone colour from the Lawn Fawn ink range, and I actually really like that colour. I ended up buying the cardstock as well as the ink pad, but just to add some colour combination I thought I'd use some Distress inks. Now I'm using the second rounded rectangle and I'm going to die cut that out, and also bringing in this die cut here from the same die cut set and using some, it's like a merman ink from the Lawn Fawn as well. Now using the centerpiece from that die cut, which automatically cuts into a circle, I'm going to do some ink blending. I brought in my ink resistant mat here from Ranger. I've cut it in half so I can have a smaller version to use on my surfaces rather than a big rollout, and I've got my ink blending tool here. Now I first use the normal Distress inks with peacock feathers, and then I've used cracked pistachio for the oxide. I like the contrast of colours and the subtleness on how well they blend, and just to add a little bit of different element to the little die cut circle. Now what I've done is I'm actually going to continue with like the watercolor theme. So I've brought in my Distress spritzer and I'm just going to collect some water in my hand, flick it across, try and get some good bubbles on that, and then a last squirt at the end. Now just setting that aside to dry, and I brought in that die cut in again, and I'm going to use the cracked pistachio, and just using the leftover ink I'm just blending that just to one side, and I'm going to place that along the bottom of the card. So just blending that nice in. It's very subtle, but it's just enough to have that little bit of ink on there, and I'm just going to fill around with how I'm going to place that. So now for the stamping, I've got the Smart Kitty, and I've brought in the MFT Black Licorice because this is a Copic friendly ink, and I really like the ink. It's really crisp. I bought the bigger pad, but I don't know whether or not I just had a different version, but I find these mini ink cubes work perfect, and all four in that cube set are Copic friendly, I have found. And I'm just doing light Copic colouring. I am no means by a Copic colourist, an expert at this at all. I just love playing with Copics, even though I'm not very good, but I like adding that blending and colour of and the tones that you can get with Copics as well. So I'm just using, I'm pretty sure this is C3, and I will put a list on my blog as well. And I'm just starting off with the darkest colour, and then I'm working my way around. I'm adding the blush too, which is the R20. And then just bringing the C0 in. All I'm doing is just lightly ink blending, adding the the pink tones, the cute little button nose and the ears, and just colouring this in. This was such an easy image to colour. It's so small, you didn't need too many Copics to colour. I was quite happy just with the 2 Copic colouring. Sometimes I tend to go to light to medium to dark, then reverse, just to get that blended look, but I think it would be too much if I added too many colours to the little cat, and I did want to keep it that grey tone, almost whitish look to the cat. So I've coloured the, I'm colouring the cap, And I've used C7, so rather than going straight to black, I've used the darkest grey. I find that way you can still see the image. If I went straight to the black, which is the 100 I believe, you wouldn't see the image. It just looked like a solid black cap, and I kind of wanted to have that tone to it where you could see the stamped image still. And there's a little tassel as well. So I'll glue this all together in a minute. So I'm sticking with the red and yellow tones. I'm colouring these books in. I am just going to alternate between the yellow and the red and just having fun with it, really. I'm not making it, you know, too specific. I don't actually put too much shading into it. I do bring another darker red tone on to add to that front book and a couple of bits to the spine, but I end up not fussing around too much. Just having it, you know, adding some extra detail. But yeah, it by all means, it wasn't necessary. You probably couldn't notice it, but I just wanted to add that extra depth and tone to the books. And then going back to my lightest colour again and just blending that in. I don't do it though for the yellow tones. I feel like the solid yellow was enough. I did find the first red that little tiny bit light, so that's why I added the red tone, the extra dark red tone to it. Just colouring in the spine and a couple of the book faces as well. And just having fun colouring. I really just took my time, didn't fuss, you know, no drama. Just enjoyed it, really. Now I've just brought in back my C0 just to add colour to the pages. Now just using a B12, a light blue, and just softly colouring in where this cat's going to actually be piled up on. So it's like a drop shadow, but it's, you know, a crisper image. Just bringing my C0 again. I find C0 is quite a good colour to add that almost transparent, but not having the stark white of the cardstock. Now I'm going to add this gorgeous little bow matching the books, so then it coordinates, you know, with the books as well. I think to add this little bow to, you know, to the neck of the kitty is just going to look so gorgeous. So you see me here, I'm fiddling around with how I'm going to fit all these elements on the card. I first thought, oh, this is too much, but I actually liked it. I liked the different layers that I ended up finishing off in that card, and it was really fun. It was just cute. I've made this card. I'm making a whole heap for my daughter's graduation. It's at the end of the year. I'm here in Australia. We graduate at the end of the year and of the school year. So my little girl, my middle child, my girl, is graduating this year, so I'm sending her off and a couple of mates some cards for their graduation. So I am making these in bulk and just, you know, making them ready for the end of the year. I know it's a bit early, but I like to get started on these kind of things, and I'll be too busy being a blubbering mess. But anyway, back to the card. I've used some foam mounting tape, 3D foam squares. I use my Tombow Mono as well as my 3 adhesives of choice. And I just adhere this down all together and just fiddling with the elements. So I just use that stamping at the bottom again with the same stamp set from Smart Kitty, Wplus9, and I just used that same black licorice ink from My Favourite Things. So didn't realise I was off screen when I was applying the adhesive, but yeah, you've seen many times me adhering things down. Alright, so now I'm just playing again with the little elements and figuring out where I'm going to add adhesive, what I'm going to pop up and add that 3-dimensional look with the foam mounting tape as well. The foam mounting squares. And I realised, you know, I wanted to definitely keep the bottom layers flat so it had some stability on the card. And then I was going to pop up the gorgeous little cat using the 3D foam mounting squares. And that's what I ended up deciding at the end. So packing those little baby cute squares on. And then the cutest little cap that you'll see, and the little tassel. These were all stamped separately and die cut separately, as you saw earlier on. That was probably one of the missions, but you know, look at the end result. So cute. And then I ended up deciding I wanted some yellow tones to continue, so I got the same paper pack, same die set from the Blueprints 31, ran that through the Big Shot, and just put some flags in, one at the top, and then I also did the inside as well, just whatever the strip of paper that was left from that die cut, because it was a 6x6 pack, and done. Hope you enjoyed today's card. Thank you for watching so much.